Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Straight Go. We're gonna go ahead and finish up this Zelda run. I'm fairly confident that this should just be cleanup at this point, assuming that the bow is in Misery Mire. We wrapped up last time getting Ether in the Swamp Palace. Should be able to, or assuming there's not very many places left the bow could be. This is not going to be a 100% run, but it's going to be real close. And the bow is the major piece we're still missing. Technically boots, but we know those are in Ganon's tower because of one of the hint tiles. So Misery Mire is a really neat dungeon. It used to be my least favorite until and it is one of the hardest dungeons to navigate, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Part of that is because in the vanilla game, there's a lot of area you don't, or in general. Okay, we're good. We are officially in Go mode, which means we just need to find the big keys for each dungeon, and we can clear them. We don't actually need to continue playing through. There's no more items we're looking for. That's actually the better way to put that, probably. We don't have the big key for this, though, so we do need to actually play through more. But as soon as we find it, we're continuing. You do need, let's see, to get through this one, you need the big key and 2 small keys. We have 1 small key, but we have to use one to get over here. Should be able to replace that. Run and grab that quick. Guess we're doing west side. Big key. I think this goes out? Yes. No. So we should be able to do like this and wrap around. So you may be asking yourself, but aren't there still items that you could find? And the answer is yes. We don't have red mail, we don't have all of the heart containers, but we don't need those. We're missing 2 bottles. One of the big things with this game is knowing when to stop. The people who are very good at this game, part of the reason that they do get such good times on randomizer races is because they don't need much to beat the game. They're willing to just dive in and play the game without, basically without a safety. They don't do things like stop to get potions like I did. They don't push block rooms to get heart containers. They're perfectly willing to clear the end boss stuff with, you know, a couple just a few heart containers and yeah, we've got the bow. Let's use it. Silver arrows make very, very short work of bosses. In general. It's actually one of those things where, because you can't really get them, because you can't get silver arrows this early in the standard game, you don't really know necessarily. So we are in what is referred to as Gill Mode, which means that we no longer need to stop and look at the flowers. We don't need to open every treasure chest. It does not matter. All we need to do is clear the dungeons as fast as possible, as I realize I'm going the wrong way. So yeah, some of the best runners in this game also are much more, or most of them are also very familiar with the glitches. They're going to do a lot of really tricky stuff that us mere mortals can't do regularly. The bomb jumps, there's a trick called fake flippers that lets you swim without actually getting the flippers. There's another one that lets you run on water. And that kind of stuff lets the runners kind of go out of order, get all of the easy chests as fast as possible, and they can jump in and beat, like they wouldn't have waited to go beat Mothula. They would have just jumped right in and beat him. Let's beat this first. Actually, probably should have done the other one first now that I'm thinking about it, because we're not looking for anything. Oh well. Too late now. This one we pretty much just need to beat the boss, so that's good. This level is actually really interesting because technically you can beat the boss without bow. It's not actually a requirement. However, there's a room in front of it with a red, I think they're called Igors. And you actually do need the bow to beat him. And having silver arrows for this boss fight makes a huge difference. So they take 1 arrow each. So when we finish this dungeon, we should be able to safe quit out. Yeah, and do Death Mountain. Let's go this way. We need to clear this side. That's where we need to start. Probably should have actually gotten that 10 arrow, but we'll be fine. Key. Oh, we have the big key. Well, then we didn't need this, but we're fine. You do need 1 small key to the basement. Another spot where having the Cane of Samaria early is really handy. There we go. You get 1 moment, Red Boomerang. Most of the time in this game, the blue boomerang is actually significantly more useful. Because you don't need that reach, and the red boomerang actually can cause a lot of lag. Holding your sword out like this actually extends the hitbox on the hammer slightly. Two hits from the gold sword. Also, 1 silver arrow would do it, or 8 regular arrows, just in case you're wondering. Red shield. I'm actually okay with getting red shield. It's not important, but it's handy. We're gonna Sanctuary start because we can get the full heart refill. Realistically, we actually should have started on the mountain, now that I'm thinking about it. Ugh. Killer Brussels sprouts are horribly laggy. Since Turtle Rock's already open, this is faster. In a seed where you don't have to do Turtle Rock, it's actually faster to take the Dark World side. But when do you ever not have to do Turtle Rock? By the way, if you see me like turn and pause in specific spots, there's a decent chance that it's because I'm pushing A to start running with the boots that I don't have. Just for the record, there's probably been like half a dozen times I've done that in this run. Oh, this is gonna be awful. We have to cross the bridge. We have to pass the linos without the... Oh, they stayed out of the way. Usually without the boots, that's awful. Okay, let's do Ganon's Tower. See if boots are required or not. There's one spot here where boots can actually still be required. Okay, so we're gonna start off over here. There's 2 chests. I'm okay with that. Not the big key. Okay. You may have to dash into that lamp to get the key. So Ganon's Tower. If you're standing on one of those pegs when they trigger, it causes a brief invulnerability, so we can walk through those spike traps. So Ganon's Tower is basically just a search for the big key. You have to find the big key to progress. It's somewhere in the basement. There's like 20-some chests, so you can find this in 4 treasure chests, you can find it on 1 treasure chest, or you can have to run through both sides and do like 25 to 30 treasure chests to get it. If you get the angle just right there, you can actually bypass those last 2. Just hop over the warp point. can bounce off that skull to skip the entire maze there. Glitched out anti-fairy because there's something weird on the torch. For some reason, that one fairy sprite is linked to okay. Come on. So I believe you need the mirror shield to block these guys' fireballs. So we need to actually divert them. If you have the mirror shield, you can just go straight on at them. That was awful. We've got a full heal potion and a fairy in a bottle. And we can always get another fairy quick if we need to, which I may do just for safety here. But honestly, I'm not super worried. Nah, we'll just use the fairy for healing, unless we just get wrecked in somewhere in here. Like this. This is referred to as the Gauntlet. It's the part where you have to actually beat all of. Basically, it's just room after room of spikes and conveyor belts and relatively difficult enemies. We've got a fairy. MLS refight. Or first fight in this case. Let's see if we can get this in one. Probably not. Nope. You can technically kill all of those guys in one cycle, but it's really tricky. Actually, we probably didn't need that, now that I'm looking at it. Let's see. We have enough keys to skip most of the rest of this, but crap. we're gonna at least grab Barry here so the beeping stops. Oldworm 2. Still just as bad as the first time. Yep, like that. Clearly, I was just refilling my health. Last treasure chest in the game for posterity. Oh my god. The real last boss. Bumpers, conveyor belts, ice, and spikes. Aghanim 2. Ideally, we want to get at least 1 hit. It's possible to get up to 3 hits if they end up in a good pattern, which they haven't been cooperating. We need 6 hits total. That was terrible. I just hesitated way too long there. Not sure what I thought was going to happen there. Got what, 2 hits left? 1 hit left, okay. We should be okay to just go straight into Ganon. Got good arrows, enough magic, especially with half magic. And with the potion and berry, we should be okay on health. If my health ends up low, I'll probably end up using the potion first. I think we should be good on hits. I was not counting. Oh my god. Again, Hookshot lets you phase through enemies while it's extended. So use that to make sure that the fire and the bats do minimal damage. Let's see if we can glitch this. If you light the first torch before the second one goes out. Oh my god. I'm not sure what just happened there. I'm just getting wrecked. Yeah, now the second torch won't ever go out. There we go. Technically, you can get 3 arrows if you're really, really good, but most of the time, if you're just kind of good at it, you can get 2. Occasionally. Oh, and that ends our run. So I'm gonna guess that's in the 2.5 range, which is about what I usually get. 245, maybe up to 3. Did that just say the time? It said something about 20 minutes, and I was not actually paying attention because that's never done it before. Now we sit through the ending. So yeah, that was not my most glorious attempt. But that's what happens when you only play once every 6 months at this point. I've had a lot of other games going on. Hell, I have a lot of other games going on right now. I've got both Fallout 4 and Seiken Densetsu 3 that I uploaded just today. I just finished a couple other games, Bloodstained, Messenger, Picnic Panic was not that long ago. Blossom Tales, if you're a Zelda fan, that's a great one to check out. Lots of variety going on here. I'm probably going to do a little bit more, or I'm basically going to be alternating Fallout and Seiken Densetsu 3. Life Lesson for sale. I love that. They put Life Lesson as when you pay more rupees than you get back from something. So in that case, it was 500 rupees for a 20 rupee. But yeah, no, it's very much trying to get a good variety. Seiken Densetsu 3 is more of an RPG. Fallout 4 is more of an action game. They both have some action elements to them, so they're kind of a good balance to go back and forth between. I still love Zelda Randomizer. And I know that there's people who they could just sit there and do just this all day long every day. There's people who do that. But I need more variety. I'll be sending this on to Mike, Kyle, and Tony, just in case they feel like doing a run and most likely smashing my time. This was a rather confusing seed, so we'll see where my time is. If I'm wrong and this is actually like a 230, then I probably did okay for this seed. I made a lot of little mistakes, and I did a couple dungeons I didn't need to do, or in an order I didn't need to do. If I had done Swamp Palace right away instead of diving into Eastern and Palace of Darkness, there's some checks on Death Mountain that were kind of awkward. The purple chest, not that I ended up needing it. So you can see there it says, a broken heart sleeps again forever. It means it's a piece of heart on the pedestal, so if you get all 3 pendants, you can get that. Yeah. Yeah. Overall, though, I still just love this game. If you want to check it out yourself, I'll leave a link in the... I'll leave a link to this file in the first one, and I'll leave a link to the website on this one if you want to generate your own. Obviously, there's no point in doing it if you've already watched the video. I believe I'm trying to remember what they're. If you put in Link to the Past Randomizer tournament in your YouTube link, you'll find a couple playlists to. They do head-to-head races where you can watch both people going through it, and I highly recommend those if you enjoyed this. If you enjoy this type of thing, they get commentators on. A lot of times you kind of have to filter through because they're all volunteers and find ones that are actual good commentators. Just because they're knowledgeable about the game doesn't mean they're good at talking about it. But they have hundreds of videos for these tournaments because of the way that they do it. They do like a round robin at the beginning, and then they go into like a top 32 that are more head-to-head races, and all the head-to-head ones are best of 3. So that's a lot of races, a lot of Zelda Randomizer. There's also a lot of modes to this game. I mentioned Key Sanity, where the dungeon keys can be in other. The keys to specific dungeons can end up at other places. I'm forgetting the name. It's the Legacy one. Yeah, whatever. There's a mode where you can where keys are interchangeable, so you can buy them like in the original Zelda, where you can go into one dungeon and take a key into another one. There's Inverted, where you start in the Dark World and have to go into the Light World with portals and go back with a mirror, where everything's kind of backwards. It's really challenging. It's the one mode I haven't completed yet because those starts are just very rough and I'm not in practice enough to do it. Also because a lot of times you end up without a key. Okay, so here's our oh hey, I got a better time than I thought. Pegasus boots at 2:18. Means that's when we were in Ganon's tower. So chances are this is about a 2:30. That's less bad than I thought. So goes through and gives us our stats. There's also extreme difficulties and such. If you're new to this, there's an easy mode that gives you doubles of some of the safety items. Let's see, 13. That lag time was really bad. Menu time's not terrible. 2:30. Called it. So yeah. Could have been better. Probably should have been about a 2... I would say that should have been about a 2:18 if I'd played it a little bit smarter and not been quite as out of practice. Which still isn't a great time, but it's not bad. I mentioned the tournaments. A lot of the good runners can do like 1:30, 1:15 for fairly consistently. The more challenging things end up with a little more difficulty. Let's see, I was rambling off modes. I didn't mention Randomizer. That's another one I haven't technically done, which is randomizes where the enemies spawn, like what the enemies in different spawn points are. That just sounds awful. It can also mix up the bosses, which that part's neat at least, but yeah. So, with that all out of the way, hopefully you're still enjoying. If you are, please give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one. We'll catch you next time.